Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be the Warriors of Chaos led by Gondola the Patient facing off against Bretonnia, who's going to be helmed by the great King of Bretonnia himself, Plague Penguin. We are here on the Changer's Madhouse. Now, for the Warriors of Chaos build, it is going to be one of my favorite styles, which is using Festus with Chosen Halberds. So Chosen are very tanky, obviously, 10,400 HP, high melee defense, and giving them healing from Nurgle is quite cool, right? Because you have the Protoss shields, which again are going to be passive healing over the course of the game, and you also get healing from Festus. So it gives you a lot of sustainability. The only risk with Festus, he's very, very easy to snipe. I mean, he has a fair amount of HP and decent melee defense, but at only 30 armor, he can be bullied by a fair amount of things. And a character like King Lewin cycle charging him, he's often going to have a bad time. So, triple Chosen Halberd, as well as Weird Spawn. So Weird Spawn are there, I think, to protect Festus. They do have high mass, and if King Lewin tries to attack into them, they will be able to use their mass and keep him at bay, and also punch back and do some decent damage, considering they do have armor sundering. Marauder Bearmen are obviously just very good. Stalwart, very durable infantry, and yeah, that's going to be it. Now, looking at the armies here, Plague Penguin, he is going to be rocking a couple Yeomen. Beastcaster is very, very good. Just using the Flock of Doom overcasted over and over onto the Chosen is going to be pretty cost effective considering the nature of this Chaos army, which is very much like I'm going to be staying in a blob area. That, Flock of Doom is going to be pretty sweet. Lewin's always good. I mean, honestly, Lewin is probably good in almost every matchup. I mean, in some matchups, there's more optimal choices. I think in many matchups, using Alberic is better because of the bonus versus large he gives, and yeah, but in general, Lewin, I think you can bring him in almost every matchup and he'll be okay. Even against missile-heavy factions with his Lion Shield and Regeneration, he can endure well. So, Peasant Mobs, Grail Relic down here, and very, very good call here by Plague Penguin to bring Foot Squires. Foot Squires, of course, 1-to-1 will lose to Chosen Halberds, but in terms of a cost perspective, the Chosen Halberds are around 1,500 gold or something. These guys are just half that, basically. So if you can get the Foot Squires on those Halberds with Grail Relic support and some Flock of Doom, they can definitely trade well. But these Chosen do not stand alone. They do have the Festus Halberds, or Festus healing support, so that's going to be pretty neat to see how that interaction goes. So out of the gates, first Colin is going to be Chosen with Great Weapons. I love Elite Chaos builds. It is just so fun. And yeah, Chosen Halberds, or Great Weapons actually in this case, are a cool generalist unit because they're good enough against cavalry with their Great Weapons, and honestly they will be able to boink down the Foot Squires pretty effectively as well. Now, what are the Yeomen going to be shooting at? Looks like Weird Spawn. That's the right idea. Weird Spawn, though, do have these shields, which are going to be absorbing their damage. So if Gondola decides to pull these things back, they can mitigate that damage and basically ignore it. But yeah, just having the Yeomen sit and take pot shots at the Weird Spawn, try and drag them down, not a bad choice at all. So Chaos probably going to be waiting for its reinforcements to come in, waiting for the Chosen to arrive in the front lines before they push, and then we will see the Doom push. I would wager, against a character, yeah, like as if he's one of the characters in the game, against a player like Plague Penguin, what I would probably do if I were in Gondola's position is leave one Chosen Halberd and one Bearman on the back objective to make it basically impossible to split push it with cavalry, and then everything else would just go to the middle, and I would just pray that I can win that fight. That would be my game plan here, but Flock of Doom's not activated yet. Weird Spawn are getting poked a little bit. Festus, of course, with the healing elixirs, is healing those bad boys up, and here comes the Horn of War. Looks like he's going to go all in on this, which is totally fine too. You can full commit to the middle. Granted, we could see Plague Penguin maybe pull his Yeoman around the back, try and ninja that point, call in some cavalry on the outside, some Knights of the Realm or something, and potentially threaten objective number 3 here. And it looks like he is going to be leaving a Bearman, which is fine. They have a ton of HP, will take a long time to kill, and that would give Chaos the time it needs to call in Hellstriders or something to fend off the cavalry. Alright, here they go. Weird Spawn have not lost any models yet, but very cost-effective damage coming in from the Mounted Yeoman boys right now. As the lines are getting ready to clash, we see the Hordes of Chaos moving in, and looking very shiny. Whenever I look at these models in this game, I always wonder how you would paint these on tabletop. This looks like it would be a silver Leadbelcher base coat with some of the teal or kind of turquoise contrast paints over it. It's a really good way to do colored metallics in tabletop, by the way. Very, very simple, and it usually looks pretty good. Alright guys, battle is on. Festus is on his healing elixirs, and one Chosen unit is going to be getting attacked. No, the Bearmen are going to be getting attacked, and Lewin probably just going to retreat through because he does not want to start taking this halberd damage. Those attacks will add up. And here comes the Weird Spawn with the Halberds. That is going to be a mean combo. I mean, Foot Squires are going to get obliterated by Weird Spawn. Weird Spawn do sunder armor. Foot Squires don't have super high armor to begin with. They're going to be put down to 40 and get torn to shreds. And with Festus there, I mean, he could go Mortis Engine, but the healing probably a little bit more valuable. So this is what we were talking about right now. Obviously, a high-level Bretonnian player realizing they might not be able to win against a blob in the middle is going to be split pushing here. So Questing Knights, Knights of the Realm, and we do have Armored Chaos Trolls as well as Marauder Bearmen with great weapons. Now back in the epicenter of action, the Foot Squires are getting taken to Pound Town. The Chosen with Halberds still reasonably healthy. The only thing that's taken a lot of damage here are the Weird Spawn. I wonder if he's going to be using a Fleshy Abundance on them. It wouldn't be a terrible idea considering they still have 9 models, but they're going to start dropping models very quickly. And, the Green Knight's coming in, the Scalpel of Bretonnia. So the Green Knight is potentially going to be very good at sniping Festus out from the blob here. But the problem for the Green Knight is that the Chosen Halberds do magic damage because they're Tzeentch. But Festus is going to be getting attacked by Gilles, and him getting trapped here. He's pouring his crunk juice on those guys right there. But he's probably going to want to retreat as he does switch to his Harbinger of Pestilence, which is going to be the Mortis Engine. Rear charge coming in from the Bretonnians, charging into the back of the Chosen, but retreating immediately, which is very, very good micro. And now it looks like they're going to be trying to isolate these Chaos Trolls. In the meantime, the back objective is stabilized as more and more Marauder Bearmen are going to be getting brought in. Now, Armored Chaos Trolls perform pretty damn well against Bretonnia. If they get isolated in an open field, they can get folded very quickly. But if they have infantry support, they do well. But in this situation, it does look like Blood Penguin, or Plague Penguin. He goes by both names, a little bit confusing. Was able to get a catch right there and potentially break them. Now, back in the middle, Flock of Doom was activated. Great value, as a lot of the Tzeentchian Halberds are getting worn down by that, and the Bearmen as well. But Festus, with his Harbinger of Pestilence, is going to be quite a menace here. And we do see the Green Knight losing a fair amount of HP by diving into the Halberds. And another cav unit going to be getting called in from the Plague Penguin. But Armored Chaos Trolls certainly going to be very excellent against Foot Squires. Foot Squires are pretty bad against monstrous units in general. And here comes the Trolls Pound Town while Festus is running out of mass to protect him. But the Trolls do arrive just in time. Festus could pull back and stand with the Trolls, and that would certainly help out quite a bit. Now, what is activated here? Is it going to be the Harbinger? No. Healing is back on. Chosen Halberds getting some fat heals, and now we do get the Armored Chaos Trolls coming in as the value is very, very even. And at the back, we do have another split push. It is going to be Quested Knights back here. Granted, Marauder Bearmen will trade very well into them with their 11,000 HP. They can endure them quite well, and the Great Opens do well enough against Cavalry. So far, I would say Chaos is in a more commanding position, considering the fact that the Green Knight is kind of being countered here, and the mass amounts of healing that Festus is dropping with his elixirs, and I would imagine a couple Fleshy Abundances have been dropped as well. And yeah, it looks like there's going to be one dropped right here on these Chosen. And isn't it great, when you see, former enemies, Tzeentch and Nurgle and all these different Chaos factions that hate each other just working together, and look at the magic they can make happen. So that is going to be pretty thick. Fleshy Abundance really, really going to keep those guys going. Meanwhile, the Elite Chosen just grinding it out. And of course, without Festus, they probably would have been broken by now. It does look like maybe Lewin's going to be able to help break them, but some of them do stabilize here. Marauder Bearmen are immune to psychology as well, which makes them really, really strong. But the Penguin going for the split push. Marauder Bearmen, of course, will trade well here, but if they get fully enveloped by Bretonnian Cavalry, so if we do see Penguin come around the back, maybe flank into these guys, I think the Bretonnian Cav could drag down those Bearmen. I mean, their defensive stats are decent, not the best. Usually the physical resist from Rage is nice once they build that up, but yeah, getting fully enveloped by Bretonnian Knights is going to be tricky. And one of the Tzeentch Halberds is making its way back there, and a Giant coming in. So yeah, Giant's a good call. A Giant stacked on top of some chaff infantry is a pretty tough thing to shift. Giants do have 100 base leadership, so very, very tough to break. But in the middle, we see a complete route for Bretonnia. They are getting folded up. The Grail Relic is keeping things fighting, but the Chosen and the healing just really, really putting in a lot of work. Back on the point here, Marauder Bearmen going to be getting cycle charged. The Giant, fighting Knights of the Realm in open field. The Knight of the Realm could do some good damage to it. Honestly, sending in these tattered ones might not be a terrible idea just to block the Giant from getting here. And yeah, Bretonnia does have the back objective. I mean, there is a way to win this for Plague Penguin. Maybe, let me look and just really assess it. I don't know. I don't think so at this point, actually. I think it's going to be too much. The Spearmen, look how haggard this army is. Basically, the Forces of Chaos could just send, an infantry and a troll to the back objective, and it'd be very, very tough. I mean, we would need, a Grail Knight or something to really sweep on the battlefield and clean things up. There is some healing. I mean, Lewin does have healing, but the value difference, 8.3 with Festus's healing, is just an insane value lead. But Chosen back here, and the Giant going to be able to fend off a lot of the Bretonnians, as another Bearman is going to be coming out with Great Opens to help fend off the Cavalry units. And a Fleshy Abundance going to be activated on the Chosen here, and it does look like Chaos is going for the triple cap. They don't need to, but certainly would be helpful in trying to end the game here quickly. And yeah, they still have another Chosen, man. These Elite Infantry are just going so strong. And yeah, we've been seeing a bit of a renaissance with Elite Infantry lately. We've been seeing them in a lot of tournament games. High Elves have been using Phoenix Guard, Swordmasters a bit, and of course Chaos often uses their Chosen, which is very, very heavy metal. Alright, so right here, these Knights of the Realm are getting crumped down by those units. Middle objective is going to be anchored by Festus, and in the meantime, we do see the Bretonnians trying to trundle on the back point and just, take it for themselves. Lewin's running out of steam, though, man. He's at about 2,000 HP. This Giant is going to be taking some things to Pound Town. Marauder Bearmen going to be grinding well, while the double Marauder Horse throwing axe is a very good tech, will be quite excellent at dealing with these threats here. Not seeing any. This is a very cool playstyle though. No, there's no Hellstriders. You know, we're not seeing any of the Chimeras being used, which again are very, very OP. I mean, double Chimera, would it have been good against this build? Probably. Like, honestly, straight up. Just using the, I mean, they would counter the Green Knight with magic damage. Their breath attacks would have killed, like, all the Foot Squires. And, you know, 2 of them could also kill Lewin. So, yeah, that would have been probably just, like, a very meta way to play this. But seeing the triple Tzeentch Chosen with Festus, it just warms my heart, man. You know, the holiday spirit is here. So Chosen Halberds are here, being very tough, and the Marauder Horsemen are going to be taking down Lewin. Wouldn't be surprised to see a tap out here coming in soon, as I think Louis is maybe going to be finished off here. He is broken, sitting at 121 HP. Throwing axes might be able to get one last volley and finish him off here. It looks like Bretonnia is trying to retreat these guys to protect them. And here comes the throwing axes. A little bit of a miss. He did retreat the wrong direction there. Back objective still being contested. Armored Chaos Trolls backed up by Chosen Grey Weapons. Very, very tough for Bretonnia to break. Now, one thing that we could have seen from the Plague Penguin that would have been very, very good against this Chaos build would have been a couple Trebuchets. If there was like 2 field Trebuchets, they would have just farmed so much value off those Halberds. Not to say it would have won them the game or anything, but yeah, could have been a very big step in the right direction. Green Knight was also very suboptimal here. You know, he probably got like 400 value or something out, 469, that's what she said. So certainly not worth like the almost 2,000 gold he costs, right? Yeah, he just was facing so much magic damage with all the Chosen Halberds, couldn't really find a good home for himself. So Bretonnia does manage to defend its back objective. Might be able to hold this. There's a Grail Relique here and a fair amount of Foot Squires, but we do see the Chosen coming over here. I don't see too many angles with which Bretonnia can win this game. Do a little bit of fast forwarding as the Knights of the Realm do gather up and rout the forces of Chaos there. And a bit of a second wind coming out from the Penguin. We do see a lot of Knights coming in, so is there some sort of a comeback opportunity here? If anybody can figure it out, it's going to be this man. So Marauder Horsemen kiting the Mounted Yeoman here. Giant's going to be heading over to the middle, and we have some great weapons basically just parked on the back point. Definitely some unsummoning needs to be done by Gondola on some of those Chosen, and make sure you don't run out of units to summon. A big skill set and domination for sure. Moving here, our Marauder Horsemen are being hunted down and maybe going to be cornered a little bit, but the big Giga Chad Giant does run some interference, and we'll be able to boink some of these Questing Knights down with a big, nice attack right there. Festus with the Harbinger of Pestilence, and the Chosen still in the middle objective, going to be very tough. Festus himself does do magic damage. He could probably finish Green Knight if he just turns and focus fires him, but it looks like he's going to be running right now, letting his minions do his bidding, which is a very evil Chaos scheme. Alright, Weird Spawn on their way in, another magic damage unit that will be able to finish off Green Knight. The last stand of Bretonnia is here. Festus on his healing elixirs, granted, what would be better here? I mean, yeah, you still have the Chosen fighting. It looks like he is going to be switching to Harbinger, though, which with the 2 Knights stacked on top of him and also just the Foot Squires and Infantry coming in is a great choice, I think. Alright, so Marauder Horsemen going to be parking it up and getting some big throwing axe shots into the Knights of the Realm, as the Weird Spawn are going to be coming in as the final anchor to make sure this objective doesn't flip, and that is going to be victory for Garhar. I've never heard that name before. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, really, I love the playstyle, man. It's super fun. Like, Tzeentch Chosen, Festus, like those kind of OG builds are very fun. There was a time where you were seeing those. Gondola does have that playstyle where, like, you're not going to be seeing, at least from the games I've seen him in the past couple tournaments, yeah, like not a Hellstrider in sight, you know, again, which is something you would commonly see against Bretonnia. Although, you know, they are a little bit weak against some of the other cab, but they can still do a lot. Yeah, no Chimeras too. I mean, this is like a fair and balanced Chaos build. Bretonnia definitely, if they had like some Trebuchets and also didn't have their big mid-game investment be the Green Knight, which was a complete flop, maybe could have had some better exchanges. But yeah, GG well played. It was a really, really fun match. Looking at the value on the Chosen, 2,700, 2,000, and 1,400 with Festus sitting at about 600. So yeah, Chosen really, really carried the game. Foot Squires still did pretty good considering, you know, they got folded up a little bit, but still did some good damage. The healing was able to outpace them. All right, guys, that's it for tonight. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you all on the other side.